The pilgrimage is a 7-week Become Your Higher Self Accelerator. So when I started my journey, I didn't understand how to heal myself. I didn't understand what needed healing. I didn't understand the concepts or the philosophies or the ideas behind why I was even healing. I didn't have a strategy or a direction. And the second thing I didn't have is I didn't have a community. I started by myself. I started out doing a lot of this work on my own. I felt really lonely. I felt really as if I didn't belong and I wasn't accepted by those around me. I didn't have other people that I could communicate with about my challenges and other people that could support me and keep me accountable to moving forward in this work. We have these subconscious and unconscious ways that we block ourselves from success. And the pilgrimage is designed to help a person let go of that. It takes you through the process of understanding how to heal yourself, understanding how you became your false identity or your lower self, understanding how you created your limiting beliefs, how you're creating self-sabotage, how you're holding yourself back, why you feel like an imposter in your life and business. And it's helping you unbecome those false patterns and become your true, authentic higher self. The pilgrimage takes the client through what's called the higher self formula. That's ancient, it's thousands of years old. It's older than any religion. And so this formula takes them through the process of understanding how they created their suffering and understanding how to change their suffering. Because I believe that all suffering in the present moment is from some kind of program or belief that was created in the past. So when we understand how we've created our limitations and our struggles and our suffering, then the healing starts to happen almost automatically. So if we can unprogram or reprogram those beliefs and the unprocessed pain and trauma in a rapid way, then we can change our lives rapidly. At one point, my beliefs, my fears, my limitations, they were valuable for me. At one point in my past, my limitations provided value for me. As my desires and my dreams evolved, then my programming was no longer accurate to the type of life that I want to experience. My programming no longer matched my desires and my dreams. So it's either we heal voluntarily or we heal involuntarily, but as the collective raises, we will heal one way or another. So the pilgrimage takes a person through the process of removing themselves from the world of duality where everything out there is happening to me and I'm a victim and I just have to go with what happens, to a mindset of unity where reality is coming from me, for me, and that everything is a gift, and that when I see it from that higher perspective, I can find empowerment in any situation.
Welcome, everybody, and thanks for tuning in today. I am here with my good friend, Ricky Goodall, and today we're going to talk about his upcoming program, The Pilgrimage. For those of you that joined us at Taming the Untamed Ego, he just finished that free event and is now opening up registration for his new event, his new program, called The Pilgrimage. It's going to be available starting April 15th, and the registration window is only 7 days. So it will end at midnight on April 22nd. So if you want to get involved with this, if you want to sign up for this once in a lifetime, life-changing program, you'll want to follow the link in the description box below and get all signed up and ready to roll so you can work with Ricky, the man, the myth, the legend. So let's bring him on and welcome him to the show. Thanks for coming on, Ricky. How are you doing today?
Yeah, thanks, Joey. Doing great. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I loved the event yesterday. I attended it. That was the first one I've gotten to attend with you on the Taming of the Untamed Ego. And I tell you what, that was impressive. You really went deep into helping, one-on-one coaching with multiple people. I came away with just mind-blown inspiration. I was taking notes the whole time, and then off on tangents I went. And I told you earlier, I spent, most of last night, literally just ideas were flowing. So I just kept writing them down and breaking it down, outlining it. And, it was just a great experience. So for me, if this new program, The Pilgrimage, is anything remotely close to what I just experienced yesterday during the Taming the Untamed Ego, this is going to be well worth getting involved with and working on. So why don't you tell us a little bit about it, give an overview, and then we'll dive deep into some of the things that people can expect by enrolling in this program. So what is the pilgrimage and why did you design it?
Yeah, thanks, Joey. So the pilgrimage is a 7-week become your higher self accelerator. So when I started my journey, there were two things that really I needed most of all that I didn't have. And one was that I didn't understand how to heal myself. I didn't understand what needed healing. I didn't understand the concepts or the philosophies or the ideas behind why I was even healing. I didn't understand. I didn't have a strategy or a direction. And the second thing I didn't have is I didn't have a community. I started by myself. I started out doing a lot of this work on my own. I felt really lonely. I felt really as if I didn't belong and I wasn't accepted by those around me. I didn't have other people that I could communicate with about my challenges and other people that could support me and keep me accountable to moving forward in this work. So the pilgrimage is a community and it's a strategy. So it's a community that takes you through the process, a strategy that takes you through the process of understanding how to heal yourself, understanding how you became your false identity or your lower self, understanding how you created your limiting beliefs, how you're creating self-sabotage, how you're holding yourself back, why you feel like an imposter in your life and business. And it's helping you unbecome those false patterns and become your true, authentic, higher self. And it's also surrounding you with a community of other people who are going through the same process. And what you experienced yesterday was a 3-hour event. We do them every month with the pilgrimage. And in those 3-hour events, we do some breath work and then we do deep coaching. So it's 3 hours of basically really deep work, helping people experience what it's like to transform the aspects of their lives. One woman in our last event hadn't had a conversation with her mother without getting triggered since she was a teenager. In less than 15 minutes, we were able to help her with that. And now she has a completely different relationship with her mother. A woman I worked with in the past tried to have a baby unsuccessfully for 3 years. In less than 6 months of her being part of my program, she was able to have a baby, and now her husband and her have a baby girl. So we have these subconscious and unconscious ways that we block ourselves from success, and the pilgrimage is designed to help a person let go of that. So there's a 7-week program, but they also get access to a full year's worth of this community.
And I love that, having experienced that yesterday, that community that you're building, I think that's so important as we're going through this journey, as we're evolving, we're ascending, some would say, and we're trying to understand what's going on. And I think a lot of people feel like they're going crazy a little bit. They feel like they're alone in this journey. But the fact of the matter is, so many people are experiencing this. They're all going through it together. And having a common place like what you're providing is really essential, to help expedite us, I guess, along this growth and along this journey, because, everybody I feel like has similar stories, but they're each different in their own ways. We're all going through the same things, but they manifest in different ways. And I think you're able to really help people recognize those fundamental underlying, habits and self-destructive thoughts. It's the same thing that we're all experiencing, even though it's a different point of view. I think you really hone in, don't you, on targeting what those underlying things are that are causing the pain in people's lives. Is that really what you specialize in, I guess?
Yeah. The pilgrimage takes the client through what's called the higher self formula. And so this is a formula that's ancient. It's thousands of years old. It's older than any religion. And it's an ancient formula that helps us understand, first of all, how we created our ego. So how we created our false character, our identity, or our lower self. And it helps them understand how to uncreate it and allow their true self to shine through. And this is absolutely fundamental, because if we're going to understand our healing, if we're going to be able to heal to the highest level, we have to understand the process of healing. And so in Steve Ozenich's book, The Great Pain Deception, he calls this knowledge therapy. So when we understand how we've created our limitations and our struggles and our suffering, then the healing starts to happen almost automatically. And so this formula takes them through the process of understanding how they created their suffering and understanding how to change their suffering. Because I believe that all suffering in the present moment is from some kind of program or belief that was created in the past. And so if we can unprogram or reprogram those beliefs and the unprocessed pain and trauma in a rapid way, then we can change our lives rapidly. You saw it yesterday. Some of those people on the call that were getting coached, it was very short conversations, but it's a very quick process. And once it's changed, then they're in a new reality. Once they change their paradigm, they're no longer in the old reality where they were experiencing the limitations and the suffering.
That's great. That's such a needed aspect of this transition we're going through. Let me ask you, how important is the healing process in order to move forward and for us to evolve? I feel like a lot of people don't want to open those doors because they're scary, they're intimidating, they're dark for most of us. So what do you say as far as the healing process is concerned? I mean, is it a must? I feel like it is. In order for us to hit the next level, we have to go back, right? And we have to correct some of these false beliefs, obviously, but we have to, in general, heal. So how important is healing?
Yeah, it's sort of like, I think of healing almost sort of like when your computer tells you that your operating system needs to be upgraded, whether you're using Windows or whatever else. Your computer tells you, okay, your operating system needs to be upgraded. Maybe like me, you ignore it for as long as you can. And then finally, there comes a point where you can no longer interact with the external world using that same operating system. You get to a certain point where your computer just won't work unless you upgrade the operating system. So I think of the healing process as an upgrading of the operating system. At one point, my beliefs, my fears, my limitations, they were valuable for me. At one point in my past, my limitations provided value for me. As my desires and my dreams evolved, then my programming was no longer accurate to the type of life that I want to experience. My programming no longer matched my desires and my dreams. So the only way for me to experience a new reality is for me to experience a new paradigm in my thinking and in my programming. So healing is a term we really use for upgrading our programming. Sometimes I use the term healing, and sometimes I like to take that out of it and imagine that we're like superhuman computers. We're like bio supercomputers. The healing process is really a game that we're playing to upgrade our video game character, to upgrade our cyborg, or to upgrade our animal that we call human. So the healing process is absolutely vital if we want to experience freedom. So we can't ignore it if we want to experience freedom. Now, the good news is if we do ignore it, chances are something will happen where we can't ignore it. If somebody experiences chronic pain or chronic illness, or some kind of suffering will happen, great loss in life will happen, and a person will have no choice but to heal. So it's either we heal voluntarily or we heal involuntarily, but as the collective raises, we will heal one way or another.
I love how you put that. One, we're either going to be forced to heal or we make the conscious choice to heal. But one way or another, we have to heal in order to move forward. And I like what you said, and it made me think of, how you're outdated. Your programming becomes outdated. And that's what the healing process is. I was thinking it's like a old version of Windows on your computer. If that version's outdated, it's not going to perform properly. Even though you've shifted into a new reality, it's not operating as efficient as it should. So that new update has to be made. So basically, you're just saying the healing process is literally going in, updating to the newest version of the computer program, and boom, everything starts running as it should again, right?
Yeah, that's right. So the pilgrimage is like an installation tool. What it does is it helps you go into the operating system, recognize the programming that's outdated, and upgrade it so that you're aligned with a reality of unity instead of a reality of duality. So the pilgrimage takes a person through the process of removing themselves from a world of duality where everything out there is happening to me and I'm a victim and I just have to go with what happens, to a mindset of unity where reality is coming from me, for me, and that everything is a gift and that when I see it from that higher perspective, I can find empowerment in any situation, and I no longer feel like a victim. So the pilgrimage just takes them through that process and then surrounds them with a community of people that are also going through it. Jim Rohn said, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time around. So if you spend time around 5 broke, sick, unhappy people, then you're going to be the 6th. But if you spend your time around 5 healthy, happy, thriving people, then you're going to be the 6th. So we've created a community of thriving people who are keeping each other at that higher state of consciousness.
I see. Now, how do you specifically do this? How does the program work? You said you go in and you help them upgrade their programming. Is it done physically? Is it done mentally? Is it done, is it in using both of those, the physical and the mental? You know, what aspects are you doing, and how are you actually helping people?
Sure. So, I mean, most of us watching, most of those watching this show have probably heard the term 5th dimensional, or that we are 5th dimensional beings. And so the pilgrimage is actually based on an ancient philosophy that helps us understand how we really are 5th dimensional beings. And shamans teach about this, ancient spiritual healers teach about it, the prophets taught about it. And there are really 5 dimensions. We have our emotional dimension, which is our feelings, our pain, our pleasure. We have our mental dimension, which is our beliefs, our thoughts, and our words. We have our physical dimension, which is our physical body, our relaxation, our tension, our toxicity, or our health and vibrancy. Then we have our spiritual dimension, which is our fears and our faith. And then we have our consciousness, which is the higher dimension beneath it all. So the pilgrimage takes them through all 5 dimensions of their consciousness, of their being, and helps them correct the programming in each dimension. And each dimension is associated with a different stage on the path of ascension. The first stage is the awakening stage. And that's what most of us experience when we first wake up to the law of attraction, or spiritual healing, or energy healing, or quantum science. That's the awakening stage. That's usually preceded by a rock bottom. Usually something really hard happens, you know, where we almost die, or we have a really serious loss in our life, or some terrible rock bottom happens, then we start to wake up. Then after the awakening stage is the awareness stage. This is where we're starting to understand the idea of quantum mechanics and energy being, reality being energy, and our energy affecting our reality. We start to logically understand how we create our reality. We start to understand the mechanics of a higher power. And then the next stage is the acceptance stage. This is where we start actually emotionally accepting responsibility for our lives. So it's no longer about pointing the finger out there. We start pointing the finger in here, and we start saying, okay, I'm the one that's responsible for all of this. So the only way it's going to change is if I take responsibility. So that's a hard stage that most people never get past that stage. Most spiritual healers never get past that stage because it takes a lot of work and a lot of humility and a lot of compassion for ourselves.
Tell me about it. I know that stage well.
You get it. After that stage, we get to the alignment stage. That's where we start to align all of our thoughts, words, and habits with our higher self. So this is humbling. For me, this is healing every addiction: food addiction, addiction to social media, addiction to caffeine, addiction to cannabis in the past. It's about healing all of our addictions, detoxifying our body, cleaning our vessel, and learning how to serve and impact in a way that's aligned with our truth. It's about creating financial freedom. It's about creating sovereignty, true sovereignty in our body and sovereignty in our world, where we're no longer limited by the physical reality, where physical reality then becomes an expression of our freedom. So that's the alignment stage. And then as a person finishes the alignment stage, they start moving up to the final stage, which is the stage of ascension, which is where we're living as a unified being. We recognize that everyone is a reflection of us. We're in command of our triggers. We're in command of our emotions. We live consciously and deliberately. We live grounded in the present moment, and reality becomes our playground.
I absolutely love that description of those 5 stages. I could see myself at each stage, like where I was obviously in the awakening and then the accepting. You know, that's a hard pill to swallow for sure.
Yeah.
Then in the what was the 3rd stage?
The alignment stage after that, the 4th stage. Yeah.
The 4th stage. Yeah. Well, the 3rd stage is acceptance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So between 3rd and 4th, I think I'm right. I'm just touching on the alignment at this point in time. It took me quite a while during that acceptance phase to start really, understanding that I am the cause of everything, and that there's no reason to get upset. There's no reason to get pissed off at anything, because I'm ultimately the reason for it. So what's the lesson I need to learn from this versus why does it trigger me, which it no longer does? Take the triggering out. What is the lesson I'm supposed to be learning? So now I think once we can ask that question, we start to understand, or we start to see how we need to start to align. That makes sense to me. It's like, okay, now that I'm mature, I guess, enough to understand that there's a question to be asked, how do I answer that question, which in turn works on the alignment? Is that correct?
That's right. Exactly.
Do we ever actually get to do we ever know when we get to the ascension phase, or are we always working on that alignment, like as kind of the top level, because we can't ever maybe consciously ever ascend, in the 3D realm that we're in? Once we ascend, do we go to a different realm, or can we ascend here on Earth? That's a question I guess I would have. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, my understanding, based on the teachings I've received and the experiences I've had, is that ascension isn't a place we get to. It's a change in how we see this world. So the habit as a human being is to react to reality. We react to what happens to us. We stub our toe, we say, ow. And so the ascension stage is a stage of responsiveness. It's a stage where there's a separation between the trigger and the response. There's such a conscious separation that it's almost as if time freezes between when something happens and how I respond to it. So it's as if I can, I forget who it was, there was a guru who said, enlightenment is the same as regular life, except I can edit my life in real time. The ascension stage is the ability to edit life in real time. So it's where we become so conscious and present that we're not up here anymore. We're just completely living, fully surrendered to divine will. And reality looks the same at first, but since we are fully surrendered to divine will, we're no longer resisting, the change happens rapidly. And we're already seeing this. You and I have talked about this before. Change is happening rapidly now because so many of us are getting higher up in the stages. So once enough of us get high enough on the stages, then reality is going to accelerate, and we're going to become more grounded into our heart instead of into our head. And we're going to become one with everything. When we become one with everything, we're no longer resisting anything. And then there's nowhere to get to. So we're living infinitely in the present moment. So to answer your question, yes, I do believe that ascension is a place that we experience. I don't think it's a place to get to. I think it's actually a place that we unbecome. We unbecome the frantic needing to be somewhere, or the frantic getting away from somewhere. We're running away from the past and running to the future as human beings. And the ascension stage is where that no longer exists. The past and the future become one, and we become totally here, totally present. We're not trying to get anywhere or get from anywhere. We're just totally happy with where we are, and then we're home, and then we're free, and then we're in that state of, the shamans call it absolute happiness. The shamans in Peru I work with, it's a state of happiness for no good reason. You have no reason to be happy. You're just happy because.
I think it's that I would compare it to, once we finally let go and we believe and know in our true powers, we're now consciously creating everything instantly, right? So we become conscious creators, but we're creating from love, light, happiness. We're not creating from that fear and that subconscious programming. So I think, it's all about getting outside of that ego, getting outside of the things that trigger us, in order to see them for what they are, and not react. React. We always have to react, but react in a logical way. React in a pull, let it pull you, I guess. If it needs to be addressed in love, just resonate with it and react in that way, as opposed to reacting out of our old programming. So I don't know. There's a lot to unravel there. And I think that your course can definitely help people who That's a good question. Who is this course for? Who can this course help?
Yeah, I mean, it can help everyone who's on the path. The people that I'm targeting primarily are conscious coaches, leaders, and healers. I mean, really, I believe that we're all healers, we're all coaches, and we're all leaders. It's whether or not we identify as and practice those types of practices. I mean, a parent is a leader. When you go show up in life, you're leading everyone by your example. So we're all leaders, but the people that I'm promoting it to and inviting to it are conscious coaches, leaders, and healers. And the format, it's like, it's not really my program. I'm delivering it to the world, but it's not mine. It came from my teachers and it came from my studies. So it's really a simplified path to enlightenment, a simplified path to freedom and liberation. And anyone who takes the program can expand far beyond my level. They can expand far beyond what I've been able to achieve with it. And I've worked with now hundreds of clients all over the world using this process. This program is just the way that I've created it so that I don't have to personally deliver it to people. So I've worked with now hundreds of clients who have gone through this process with me, and I've taken them through the process over the last 3 to 4 years since it started coming to me. This program is just a way for me to scale it and reach more people so that people can do it with a community and do it for themselves and take themselves through the process. The real secret to it is that it guides you to discover your path. So it's not like I'm saying, hey, this is my path that's worked for me, you should use it. What I'm saying is this is it's a magical path. Literally, it's an esoteric, shamanic, magic process that helps you understand your blueprint, your higher self blueprint, your higher path to figure out what you need to do, what your purpose is, what your higher calling is. That's really the secret behind it.
I love it. I love it. Let's see here. As we wrap up, I want to recap. The program opens on April 15th and registration is only for 7 days, 1 week only, and it ends midnight of April 22nd. So for everybody that's interested and wants to sign up for this program, I recommend getting in quick, because how many spaces do you have? Is it open as many as you want, or do you have an exclusive amount of spots? What is it?
Yeah. I mean, at first I thought we could do 30. Now I'm thinking it might only be 20. We're gonna play it by ear over the week. If we get to 20 or 30, I might just shut it down because we've got a pretty big waiting list right now. And the difference now is that the program has always been, it's been available for the last 6 months to my private community. And the basic program is 7 weeks. It includes 25 video lessons and different assignments that take them through the process. But the new version of the program has another $15,000 worth of bonuses. So they get access to the entire community for a year, including the live events that you were at yesterday. They get access to that for a full year. They get access to an app on their phone where they can connect with other members and me directly. And it looks like Facebook, but it's not Facebook. It's called Mighty Networks. It's a private closed application. There are mastermind groups inside there, like Money Mastermind and Meditation Mastermind and Healthy Fitness, all sorts of extra groups to give them resources so that they can heal their 5 bodies. They also get the first 5 people to join get a 4-week VIP coaching package with me, valued at $3,000. They get one-on-one coaching and group coaching and unlimited WhatsApp access to me for 4 weeks. Only the first 5 people that join.
Wow, that's huge. I've worked with you, one-on-one, and I know the power that you bring in coaching. So that's in and of itself, that's well worth the money.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I charge more for that coaching than I do for this program, except the reason I'm including it is because I really want to give a lot of value with the program. There's other bonuses too. And if they check out the website, they'll see all of the bonuses. And the best part is there's a 30-day spend a week locked in a cabin with your family money back guarantee. So that means that if after 30 days, you're not, or within 30 days, if you're not willing to spend a week locked in a cabin with your family to stay a member of the pilgrimage, I'll give you your money back, no questions asked. That's how confident I am. I don't want people to make a decision right away because I want them to make an informed decision. I want them to make a decision knowing that the program's good for them. And the only way that they're going to know that is if they're inside of the program. So I want to give them the opportunity to get inside, to experience it, and to make a decision. I'm so confident that it will change their life that if they see that value and they're ready to go on that journey, they'll stay. If they're not, then I don't want them to stay. We only want the right people in this program. We only want the people that are really ready to do the work that needs to be done so that they can become their higher selves. Because this, you and I have talked about this so many times in different episodes. That's how we're going to change the world, is by transforming ourselves. Mm-hmm. So this is an opportunity for somebody to experience tremendous transformation in a super short period of time and in a really accelerated, exponential way around a whole family and a whole tribe of others who are encouraging them, cheering them on, and keeping them accountable to their goals and dreams.
That's phenomenal. And I love that no risk aspect. I mean, literally, there is nothing to lose by enrolling in the program. You know, if you're not happy, get your money back. But knowing who you are and what you do, I can't imagine anybody, if they don't do the steps and walk through the program, they're not going to be blown away and transformed for life, you know, just in what you offer them. So, you know, it's priceless. But what is the program running for? You know, what are you selling it for?
I wasn't going to share I'm not sharing the price until it enrolls, but since this video is going to go out when it enrolls, I'll share it here. The price is only $1,497.
Wow. Okay.
And for a year, it's crazy. For a year access of mastermind, like my coaches charge $25,000 for a year, to put it in perspective. So again, my
coach was $10,000 a month. So yeah,
exactly.
$1,500 under $1,500 is literally a steal for something like this.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing is the way that I'm able to do that is, one, because I've created the bulk of the program already, and because I'm leveraging the community, because I don't have to be giving a lot of my time for the person to experience transformation. I've already invested 1,000 hours into creating this program. I've invested 10,000 hours into understanding the concepts. I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into the coaching and the mentorships and the apprenticeships, going to Peru, going to Costa Rica, coming here to Mexico, traveling through Canada and the US to get this training. So I've already put the work in, and I just want to reach as many people as possible. So this is the way for people to get access to what, if they wanted to work with me for a year, this is what we would do together, except they only pay a fraction of the actual cost.
That's awesome. What a service to the world you're bringing out for people. I can't wait to actually go through the program once it launches here. When is the start date for the program?
Yeah, April 15th at 9 a.m. Cancun time. So that's 10 a.m. Eastern.
Okay,
so we're recording this video on Thursday, so it starts tomorrow in real time, but they'll probably see the video after it's already started. So
I guess there's no delay. Like once you enroll, you can start the program.
You get access to the program immediately.
Okay, perfect.
They'll get the login information.
If there was enroll and then it starts May 1st or something, literally they can get access to this right now, starting tomorrow, starting on April 15th. And they can enroll first thing April 15th and bam, start doing the work the same day.
Yeah. They'll get access to the community immediately. They'll get access to the program. They'll get access to all of the bonuses. And if they're one of the first 5 people, I will even schedule their first coaching session within 48 hours. They won't get the coaching session in 48 hours, but we'll schedule it in 48 hours. They'll know when they're going to work with me within a couple of days after joining. In fact, they'll get an email from me, a personal email, not an automated email. They'll get a personal email from me within a couple of days of joining the program. Plus they'll get all the automated login information, everything as well.
That is awesome. How powerful. I can't wait to do it. I can't wait for the listeners to enroll in this. I think it's just going to be a huge success. I know how much time you've put into this. I know this is literally the culmination of your life's work.
Yeah. Now
going out to the public, now available to help the masses. So I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful for our friendship, and I'm honored to call you a friend, a brother, and to have you part of the network here. And I know you're just going to blow this out of the water with so much success. And until next time, buddy, thank you for coming on the show. We will get this out loud and clear to the world so that we can start changing it. And I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Likewise, I appreciate you too.
All right, guys, until next time, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you still haven't, and stay blessed, my friends. And remember to always ask yourself, what reality are you choosing to create today? Bye now.